What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on Uchuu Sentai Kyuranger episode 43. This episode is called Lucky's Promise on the Holy Night. It was actually a pretty good episode. I wanted to bring that up right up front. What it did have was some pretty big sacrifices in it, and also, for those that are wondering, did have something that talked about holidays and Christmas and all that. Some people have wondered how that works in Japan. For those that don't watch it, they do holiday episodes. So this one did have holiday aspects to it towards the very, very, very end of the episode. Usually they have like full-on episodes that are focused on the holiday aspect. This one really wasn't, and it made sense because how would they be able to do this in the kind of story that they're using right now? So I'm not upset at all. I think it makes sense, and there have been really good holiday episodes in the past. This was just one that kind of, they put something in there just to have something, which is not a bad thing necessarily. So I just want to bring that up right up front. The episode starts off with the Kyurangers having to fight some endeavors. What we do end up seeing is that, Tsurugi is talking to Don Ramage. He's supposed to explain his whole entire plan or whatever, or explain part of it, which basically is that, yeah, he is going to destroy the entire universe, but he still says that there's going to be a way for him to exist and make the world from scratch. Now, it seems a bit crazy, seems a bit, how is this possible? How is this going to really work out? It's still not entirely clear as to how this is going to work out, because of the fact that, if this were to happen, it would destroy everything. Like, I don't know how he's going to make things new if everything's gone. Like, how is he going to create something like that? Again, not very clear yet. It's still not very well explained, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, while this is going on, what we do end up seeing is that the other members of the team end up fighting these endeavors. They also transform, and at one point, what ends up happening is that, we end up seeing that Dynamo tries to reveal his true form to Tsurugi, which ends up leading to some wings coming out, which we don't actually see the actual physical face and everything, but what people are suspecting, and this is actually a pretty likely suspicion, is that his current body that he is inhabiting is Kiervo. Kiervo, if you don't remember, was Tsurugi's friend that he helped out in the past, so people are expecting that to be the case, that Kiervo is the one that he's inhabiting. So, that's obviously interesting. What we do end up also seeing is that eventually they do manage to destroy the endeavors, but then Aslan appears, and Aslan appears as his, evil form, and so the Kyurangers split up. Half of them go to help out Tsurugi. The other half go to help out. The other half stay with Lucky. The ones that stay with Lucky are Hami, Kotaro, and Garu. So those three stay with Lucky to fight Aslan. Initially, the others go to Tsurugi, and what ends up happening is that when they're fighting Aslan, they keep trying different moves. Like, Hami tries to use her chameleon abilities to like blend in with the surroundings, and Garu uses his animal-like abilities, and Kotaro uses his ability to become big. So everyone has something going on, but Aslan proves to be very difficult, and eventually Lucky is, left in a pretty terrible state. He's going to be sliced right through, but suddenly, the Shishi Red Kyotama comes out from his chest, and it knocks him back. And then at that point, Lucky grabs the Kyotama and sticks it into his Q sword and uses it to slash Aslan right down the middle of his face, destroying the mask and then revealing his true form and bringing him back to reality. So at that point, Lucky's father is happy to see his own son, and he feels lucky that he he had him, and that he is such a fortunate father to have such a great son who did all this for him and, you know, fought his way to save him. So that was really, really touching. In the meantime, what does end up happening is that the others return back to where Lucky is with Aslan, and we end up seeing Medako appear. Medako wants to, Medako says, talks to them about how she's going to destroy them or whatever, and how, like, they're just being jelly brains, like Joey refers to them as, but then Daramaj appears and basically says that, yeah, he's going to destroy the entire universe, and she's pretty freaked out because she doesn't want to be destroyed, but, like, Daramaj says, don't worry, you'll be spared, and she's just like, how am I going to be spared if everything is gone? Where will I be? So it's sort of one of those funny situations where it's sort of like, what do you even say to that? So then at that point, what ends up happening is that the Kyurangers, all 10 of them that are there, transform. Aslan, in the meantime, stays to the side to watch over everyone. And what ends up happening is that the 10 Kyurangers transform. Loki actually uses Shishi Red Orion mode. Well, I also forgot to mention that Loki uses the solar mode, which he hasn't used in a while in this episode, which is cool. But then, when the 10 Kyurangers are there, they end up going outside of the building, fighting Daramaj and also Medako. Eventually, they end up destroying Daramaj and actually destroying Medako. Now, as we know, with Daramaj never really dies, at least so far. So at least temporarily, he's gone, and he actually goes into the building. And what ends up happening is that suddenly, the size of blaster that's supposed to use the black hole to destroy the explosion stops working, so it doesn't just automatically go off. So what happens is that I'm thinking of the wrong show. Lucky, Hammy, and Balance have to go and correct the issue. In the meantime, Medako is turned big, and we also end up seeing a death form that joins her in battle. So there's those two, and then the Kyurangers end up using the Kyutamajin to fight the two of them. And in the meantime, the three that went to go deal with the size of blaster basically realize that, there's no way to fix it, and the only way that it's going to work is if one of them stays behind and turns on the size of blaster right before it goes off so that it can take out the explosion. So what does happen is that initially Lucky wants to do it for them, but then Aslan appears and he says he'll do it for everyone, and Lucky doesn't want him to do that, but Aslan basically says to them, I've been so fortunate to have you as a son, and I never was able to really do anything for you, and I want to do this for you. I want to save you, and I want to save the universe. I want you to remember me as being someone who, and I want to be remembered for someone who died saving his son. And, that's all that really matters in the end. So he does that, and, they keep saying talk about Lucky and all that, and it's really a sweet, sweet moment. And you really feel something. I mean, it's a really emotional situation. So eventually, what ends up happening is that Lucky and Hammy and Balance go back out. Lucky ends up using the Orion Battler, while the other two join the Kyutamajin, and they end up fighting, Medako and the Death Worm. Eventually, they actually do destroy Medako, and this time, rather than her being, revived, she's done, because when she became a cyborg, she lost the ability to be revived, so this was her, completely being destroyed, which is something that hasn't happened in several years for a Sentai female villain to actually be destroyed, so that's really cool to see that actually happen. Following this, they end up escaping the planet. There's the explosion that goes off, but the explosion ends up being sucked up by the black hole that Lucky's father ends up turning on the size of blaster, and he's sucked into the black hole as well. At least that's what we would assume. Very unlikely that he escaped, but that's what happens. From there, we end up seeing that I keep on doing that. Lucky being not super happy about everything, and Hammy and Sho try to comfort him, and eventually he's brought into the main base of the ship, and we end up seeing all these Christmas decorations everywhere. The reason why is because Kotaro wanted to celebrate an Earth holiday, which is Christmas, with them, and he thought that that would help cheer up Lucky. So we end up seeing all these decorations and everything, and then Stinger is given the Christmas Kyotama by Sho, and when he uses it, everyone gains a Christmas outfit. So at that point, everyone rejoices, Lucky's really happy, and we end up seeing everyone wearing different things, like Balance wears his snowman outfit, and Champ wears a reindeer outfit, and Sho has supposed to be Santa Claus. Everyone has something going on, and it looks fun. And then they end up doing the the end theme dance that they always do, except in this case, everyone was wearing their Christmas outfits, which is nice. And following all this, what ends up happening is we end up seeing the preview for the next episode, which looks pretty interesting, because the next episode we're going to be getting we're going to be seeing that Hammy is going to get to use this solar mode and the moon mode on her outfit, which is something that's really cool, because for the longest of time we thought that it was only going to be exclusive to Lucky, and we also are going to see Pegasus, which we haven't seen the Pegasus Kyotama used since like episode 6, and so the fact that we're using it again, and this time not only that, but it's being used by Spada, that's pretty interesting. Now you may be wondering, why hasn't it been used, that one? The main reason why that never really was used prior to now wasn't because they didn't want to use that form, it was because it wasn't working. That actually is a fact. Like the actual technology and device itself that goes on their chest and everything wasn't really working. Real world, I'm not talking about like in the show. I'm talking in the real world. Like it wasn't working. So that's actually why they haven't been able to use it for all this time. And I guess they managed to get it to work like right before the season ends. And it's even cooler that Spada's going to use it, just because it shows that, these forms aren't limited to just Lucky, because like that's typically what people expect with a lot of these forms, is that the Red Ranger always gets it, like that's it, and no one else gets it. In this case, everyone could have gotten it, it's just that it wasn't working. Well, not everyone, but some people could have gotten it. So that should be interesting to see. I wonder if anyone else will get to use Pegasus, or will actually get to use the solar mode other than Hammy. So we'll have to wait and see about that. The next episode also shows that, Naga's going to get to use his Hibitsukai metal form, which is going to be very cool, because I always love that form. It's a really great design, really, really just powerful looking. So all that's going to happen, apparently the episode's title actually basically says what it is, which is like Dynamite's identity. So we're going to actually get to see like what he actually looks like, his face and everything. The preview clip kind of shows that he's like about to remove his hood and reveal it to everyone, so that should be interesting to see what that will look like. Hopefully that is the case, that we'll finally get to see his face. So I love knowing your guys' opinions. Are you guys looking forward to this next episode? I personally am. Again, for those of you that know, this episode of Sentai, Sentai and Kamen Rider are not gonna get another episode till after the new year, so keep that in mind, that this week is the last week of episodes for the year, and then it will start back up the following in the new year. So in other words, the episode will the next episode that would have happened would have been on the 31st, so the following week will be when we get episodes, will be on the 7th. So both shows will get new episodes on the 7th of January. So keep that in mind. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Until then, guys, I'm Crazy Sarah, everyone, and goodbye, guys.